It's time for health tips. Now here's your host, Dr. Alma Jenkins.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Alma Jenkins. Thank you so much for watching. And this is Health Tips. You know, it's always a pleasure for me to come into your homes on Saturday night, and I hope that you've invited someone to watch the show with you. This show is how do they say it? It is an event in progress. We're still working on it, and we hope that you will continue to watch and invite people to come over and watch with you. I see many of you at the stores or when I go shopping, and you're letting me know that you're watching the show. Now, sometimes I'll ask, are you lifting your cans? And I get various answers to that. So let me encourage you to lift the cans as well, not only during the show, but other times when we're not on, okay? Secondly, let me just remind you that we're willing to come to your church or your event, wherever it is, and talk to you about a health issue, health topic, be it colonoscopy, and the need for that, or be it, any type of medical topic that you want us to speak about. We are happy to do so. And if it's a topic outside of gastroenterology and I feel like I want to have another specialist come on, we can do that too. So I'm now on staff at Wayne Memorial, and therefore, have access to the resources there. And so if we need to bring one of our specialists on from there, I'm sure that we can do that. So please let me know if you need us to come and talk with you, or there's a specific topic that you would like us to present on the show, then I'll be happy to do that. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, this is March. March is Colon Cancer Prevention Month. So of course I have to say something about colon cancer. You know, it is very disheartening when we have a patient come in under 50. It's never heartening to see colon cancer, but when we get a relatively young patient come in with it, that's even more disheartening. Granted, most colon cancers that we see are 50 or above. That's why the screening age has been set at 50. So if you are 50 years old or older, you should have already had or scheduling a colonoscopy. Most colon cancer comes from colon polyps. These little growths that can occur in your colon. They look like little roses or little, tiny little cabbages or that. And we go in there and we cut them out, and that cuts your risk of colon cancer. So please get your colonoscopy if you have not gotten it. And if you know that your mother or your grandmother has not had it. Now, if you've been getting your colonoscopies pretty regularly and they've been negative, and you're now in your 80s or so, you can probably opt out of it because your chances of getting colon cancer are very low, okay? So I would encourage you again to get your colonoscopy if you've not had it. If you've had any alarm system symptoms, even if you're not 50, blood in your stools, weight loss, and belly pain, those are symptoms to take seriously and to get some help for. Yes, it could be your hemorrhoids. Many times it is, but you want to be sure, okay? So don't sit around and have rectal bleeding for months on end. If you start to have rectal bleeding and you're having belly pain and all of that, go and see about that, okay? And get your colonoscopy if you are at that age group. And also, again, if you have had polyps before, even if you're not 50, if you had colon polyps, then you should be getting colonoscopy every 5 years, okay? And your first degree relatives, the same thing. So if your brother had colon polyps, then you automatically need to be checked at age 50. Now, if your brother had colon polyps when he was 20, then you should get your colonoscopy sooner, most likely, okay? So if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to drop me a line at WHFL, and I'm sure that we can answer those questions. We may want to bring it on the air in case other people have that same question, okay, that we can answer. All right? So remember, March is Colon Cancer Prevention Month. We are encouraging everyone out there to go ahead and get your colonoscopy, okay? Very good. So what are we going to talk about? What are we going to cook tonight? Well, let me just tell you that before I even get started, I'm going to, I got a fork right here. I was trying to find a fork. I'm going to ask my producer to hand me another one out of the drawer there. But let me just tell you that I went to a restaurant, and you can take this one and just put the hot water there on that. I went to a restaurant in Goldsboro. I'm not going to call the name of it just yet, but I ordered the grilled salmon, and I'm a connoisseur of salmon. So I ordered a grilled salmon, and let me tell you, that was the best salmon I have had in a long, long time. That was some really, really delicious salmon. And I asked the waitress, what did they do? How did they fix this salmon? So she went back and talked to the cooks, and they told her that they did what I'm about to do. Now, they didn't tell me exactly how they did it. They just told me the ingredients. So I'm going to show you tonight how I'm going to do this salmon, and hopefully we'll come out with the same taste. What they said they used was butter. Now, you know, most nights we don't use butter. And I have my pan wiped in olive oil, because I usually saute in olive oil. But I have here some butter. Okay, and then they had lemon. They made a lemon butter sauce. So I'm squeezing lemon into this butter. Now that tends to make the butter sort of clabber. Okay, it does. It tends to make the butter sort of clabber or get cold. So I heated the butter. And I've got the lemon juice there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the salmon. Here's the salmon. Look at that beautiful piece of salmon right there. Okay. But I'm going to kind of drench this in the butter solution. Butter and lemon. Okay. Now what I did when I first tried this is I set it in there and let it stay for 15-20 minutes. But they told me they did not marinate it. Okay, I specifically asked. Then I'm going to put some pepper on it. And they did use kosher salt. Okay, put some kosher salt on it. I have the coarse kosher salt. And then they told me that they put parsley. So I'm going to cut up some fresh parsley. What I like to do is cut it fairly thin. Okay. So I'm making kind of making my own little parsley flakes here. Now, real cooks, real chefs, they know how to do this much better than I'm doing. Okay? But nonetheless, it's fresh. Fresh parsley. Okay? I'm just going to sprinkle. You don't want your pan to start to smoke when you have olive oil in it. You don't want that. Okay. So I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. I'm going to let that pan cool a little bit because it got a little bit hotter than I'd like. And while that's doing that, I'm going to take this sweet potato. Now I'm doing this to let you know how good this can be. salmon and a sweet potato. What I do is I wrap my sweet potato in a wet towel, and I'm going to walk away and pop this into the microwave for about 9 minutes. Okay, so I think my pan is ready now, and I'm going to put this in the pan. Okay, then I'm going to take this side I keep wanting to say rock salt, but it's kosher salt. And I'm gonna once I turn it back over, and I gotta turn this back on. Okay, now that's gotta cook for a little bit. Some of you just like it to just get warm and you're ready to eat it. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't like half-done meat. No matter what kind of meat it is, I like for it to be done. Okay, so that's gonna have to fry. That's gonna have to saute a bit more. And meanwhile, while it's doing that, we're going to do our cans. So you can go ahead and get your cans out from under the sink or in the pantry or wherever you have them. I keep 2 cans here under the stove top or oven top, just for you, so we can exercise while we are cooking. Okay. Meanwhile, the food is going to be getting ready. Okay. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12. Come on, do this with me. 13, and 14, 15, and 16, 17, and 18, and 19, and 20. 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Come on, do it. 16. This feels good. 17, 18, 19, and 20. 2, 3, 4. All right. I smell the sweet potato cooking. All right. Let me just move this so you can kind of see what's going on. Okay. Yeah. This is going to be delicious. Now, sometimes what I'll do is put a little bit of this butter that's there right around it there. You know, just kind of sizzle with it. I'm going to put a little bit on top here. Now this is just my little stuff. You know, no real cook will probably think that, but that's gonna melt up there. And then I'm gonna turn it over in a minute. And in fact, I'm gonna let this continue to cook a little more because I like my salmon done, but not too done. If you get salmon too done, it's dry. And it really doesn't taste good that way. So you don't want it too done. And just to make sure I get all the lemony thing, I'm put a little bit of that on top of that. Just a little speck. Okay, now remember you got your salt there, but that hopefully had dissolved a little bit on top of there. Let's see. It's getting there. It's getting there. Now a lot of times I poke little holes in my salmon so that the heat can get through and so that it can, you know, get done a bit sooner. Okay, because I like it done through and through. Okay, let's just do a little bit more exercise and then we'll be free to turn that over. All right, let's lift our legs this time, but let's swing our arms. 1, 2, 3, and 1. And 2, 3, and 4. I wonder how many of you are doing this 5 and 6 at home when we're not on the air. How many of you are actually trying to get that exercise in every day? Remember, the older you get, the stiffer you will get if you don't start moving. The key is to keep it moving. Keep it moving every day. I know you say, well, I'm moving, I'm working, I'm good. But your body adjusts to that. That doesn't count. You got to do some extra stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get that body moving. If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay? All right, lift those legs high. All right, I think it's about ready for us to turn that salmon over now. If you have a spatula, you may want to use that because I don't want you to burn yourselves. Hold on, just look right there while I step away. See if I can get, yeah, here we go. I hear a phone ring. So I'm putting some of the rest of that buttery solution that we had already, that kind of, some of it got cold. I'm putting that on this side of the salmon, okay? Now you know that we hardly ever use butter in my cooking. And if you cut the parsley up finer than that, you won't see as much parsley on top of it as that. And you can always sprinkle a little bit on once it's cooked. You know, you don't really have to do it the way I did it. You can just sprinkle it on there when it's done. I just happen to put some in there like that, okay? But we're gonna taste that when we're done and see. Let's check on our sweet potato too. I don't want it to get too, I think it's about ready. So I think I can stop it now. We're not quite ready to have it yet, but I think it's about ready. So I'm gonna let that cook some that way, the way it is there now. And we're going to do some more exercise. Ready? Get your cans in hand. 1, 2, ready, and 1. And 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10. Let me give you a suggestion for the lemon butter mixture. First, put your lemon juice in whatever container you're going to put it in, and then put your butter there, and then heat them both. You can heat them both in the microwave, okay? Then you don't have to worry about heating the butter and putting the lemon juice in there when it's cold, and that's going to clabber, you know. So instead of doing that, just heat them both in a container, and they'll both be liquid at the same time, okay? Do that. That's not exactly what we did, but I want you to learn from what I just did not to do. You can if the lemon juice, if the lemon is fairly warm, but let's say you just took it out of the refrigerator and you put it in that warm butter, it's just going to clabber to the top. So just put them both in there, heat them up, and you've got it, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay? All righty. Let's just look at this now and see what we're doing. Okay. Look at that beautiful thing. Now I'm getting ready to get my baked potato out. And what are we going to do with the baked potato? We're going to put cinnamon and honey on the baked potato, okay? So I'm going to get that honey right over there on the counter. And I'm so happy I have such a wonderful producer because he hands me things that I need that I forget to put over here. I'm gonna just rinse some of that honey off the side. And I'm gonna step over to the pantry for a minute. I'm gonna be out of your sight and get my cinnamon. So what I use is ground cinnamon, okay, ground cinnamon, and I use that, and then the honey, okay. Now, whether you want to put whipped margarine or something in it, that's up to you. I can do without that. That's one less bit of calories that I have to think about, okay. And also, I'm gonna just taste the tip of this in a minute. Let me get let's see how this is looking. Oh, it's looking good. Remember, you don't want to cook the salmon too done, because if you do, it's not going to be moist. So let's get our potato out of here. Okay, there it is. Cut it, open it up like so. Now, depends on the size of the potato how long you keep it in there. To keep from putting margarine or butter in there and adding more calories, I go ahead and just put the plain cinnamon right there. Look at all that cinnamon I'm putting in there. Look at that. And then I take the honey and put honey on top of that cinnamon, like so. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is some good stuff right there. And just let it sink in, because you're going to take your fork and you're going to, you know, blend it. Then I take my salmon, which is undoubtedly ready now. Put it on the plate. Look at that. Oh boy. We got some good eating coming here. And then, now you can put this in a separate thing if you want, but what I like to do is I'm good with having it. Let's put this over here. Take this off the aisle. So some people will use a separate container for their salad. I'm not like that. I can put my salad right on my plate like this. I've got everything I need in this salad, and so I'm not even going to use the whole salad. Okay? And with whatever dressing you want to use on that salad, okay? Look what we've done in less than 26 minutes. This is a healthy meal, ladies and gentlemen. You've got a salad. You've got a grilled salmon. Now, we did use some butter, but guess what? We don't use butter a lot, and if you only use it for this kind of thing, great. And you can use the can't believe it's not butter if you want. But I wanted to see if I could replicate the taste that they had in the restaurant. So now I'm going to taste this. Whoops. Gonna taste it. By golly, it does. You are gonna love this. That is delicious salmon. That is so good. Let me taste a piece that has some of the parsley on it right here. I purposely got some parsley here. Okay, put some more parsley on it. Let's taste it. That's restaurant salmon. It does taste like that salmon I had at the restaurant. Now, what was the name of the restaurant? I think it was Texas Steakhouse. It was delicious. They didn't ask me to say that. That tuna was so good. I mean, not tuna, salmon. That salmon was so good. Now, this is really delicious salmon. You have got to try this. But let me tell you what's the crowning point. The salmon and then the taste of the sweet potato. That juxtaposing taste is delicious. If you just ate the salmon and the sweet potato, you would say this is outstanding. But now you've got a salad to go with it. Try this dish. Try that. Just try that. And tell me what you think. Remember, it was butter, kosher salt, pepper, I use ground pepper, and lemon in the butter. Lemon butter sauce, parsley, salt, pepper. Okay? Try that. That is delicious. I'm going to put that in a little container, and I'm going to take that to lunch next week. Because it was that good. We're not going to eat this up tonight. We're going to take this to lunch next week. All right? Now, remember that we talked about colon cancer. Remember that this month is Colon Cancer Prevention Month. So if you have not had your colonoscopy, call and get it scheduled. Tell your primary provider you haven't had it, and if they've already told you you need to get it, then schedule it this month. Remind your mom, remind your sister, remind your neighbor. Let's look out for one another, because that's what it's all about. We have to take care of each other, okay? So I'm counting on you to spread this word now. We have the whole month of March to remember to tell each other that if you have not had your colonoscopy, if you have blood in your stool, if you're having belly pain, you need to go and see about yourself. All right, it's been a pleasure being with you tonight. I'm Dr. Alma Jenkins. Take care and good night.